So, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Hello ARCore. That is not a talk about the house of Berlusconi, but about augmented reality framework by Google for Android. So, let's start first. For first thing, who I am. I am Giovanni Laquidara. I am a software engineer, and I started to develop desktop and backend application, but when I discovered the now whole technology that is mobile development, the mobile, I chose to move in mobile development. So I am now a mobile developer. And why? Because I think that mobile is the technology that is near to the user instead of desktop application. It's very near. You every time are bringing with you a computer, a small computer in your pocket. That's mobile. That is mobile. But 2 years ago, I discovered an old technology, but more immersive. That is and more nearer to the user than mobile technologies. And I chose to learn how to develop XR application. Mixed reality application, virtual reality application, and augmented reality application. Like you see, it's very near to the user this time. You can stand into your application. So why? Because why I moved to this? Yeah, because I think that, like I say, that virtual reality and augmented reality are technologies that enable everyone to use the more natural and more intuitive interfaces and so on. And I think that will be the future computing platform. I hope so, because many things that VR and AR are already died. So what I talk today? We talk about what is AR, and in particular what is AR for Android development using ARCore, the framework from Google. How to develop so with ARCore. I will show you some code because there's a code conference, and I will show you also some advanced tools to develop with it. So what is AR? AR is in the field of immersive computing. So each time you want to add some virtual objects to your real environment, you are doing augmented reality. So AR can bring everything, every digital object with you. For now, it's just visualizing 3D model, but they can be very interactive, and yeah, you can bring potentially everything with you. Just bringing your smartphone for now, and maybe in the future some smart glasses, I think. A brief history of augmented reality. It started in 1968 with the invention of the sword of Damocles, because this kind of hardware was hanging from the ceiling. Like there was the sword of Damocles, and that was created by Ivan Satterthwaite, and like you see in the animation GIF, in animated GIF, it allows the user to show a cube in the real world, just a cube, and you see what a big hardware it was. Now, if you want to develop with frameworks for your smartphone on desktop application too, or tablet mobile application, you have to use some frameworks like Vuforia, AirToolkit, Wikitude, and yeah, there is also it's not a framework, it's an hardware by Google, Tango, that is into smartphone right now. It allows you to create augmented reality also because it has a special camera that is the Tango camera that is mapping the world it sees, and allows you to put in very precise way the model into the scene. And 2 years ago, Apple too, with ARKit, decided to join the field of AR development to enable the developers to create this kind of application. Later this day, we'll have a talk about ARKit too. And but this kind, Vuforia and Wikitoon and the others, at the first time allows you to create augmented reality just using markers that are quite a little bit unimmersive, I think. Google starts to enable the developers to develop AR application from the end of the last August, 29 August, deploying the ARCore SDK that allows you to develop AR application for Android, and it has the same feature of ARKit by Apple, and it derives from the experience in Tango development by Google. And to map the environment, it uses the camera of your smartphone and the IMU, so the sensor from your smartphone, the accelerometer, the gyro, and the magnetometer. And this SDK has as input the camera, the IMU data. What is coming from the camera is analyzed by a computer vision algorithm to extract the so-called feature points of the camera images that are, we'll see what are feature points later. So with feature points and the data coming from the input, the IMU, ARKit applies some math over it, some magical math. There are accented Kalman filter and so on. So very complex maths, but it's very interesting to study. And the output is the position and the orientation of the smartphone in the space around you. And also identify in the environment some planes where you can put your 3D model. ARCore for now is in beta state. It runs only on Android the Nougat phone, but only 5 models for now. The Pixel XL, the 2 versions of it then, and the Galaxy S8 that I have it today to make some demo. It's a very little test base, but we hope that ARCore will be compatible with many other smartphones. Google declared that by the end of the preview, ARCore will run on 100 million of Android devices. It is very complex, I think, to arrange, to adapt ARCore for the Android platform, so the very breadth set of Android devices, because it needs to calibrate the camera, calibrate the sensor, make sure that the sensor, the IMU of the smartphone have not so many errors, you need to calibrate many of things that are so different in the Android smartphones. So the 3 main features of ARCore are motion tracking, environmental understanding, and light estimation. First one, motion tracking, like I said, allows ARKit to understand where it is in the space, where the smartphone is in the space. So you have the coordinate of your smartphone in the scene, and so the camera can arrange where to put the simulated object, and also to make it current with the movement. The environmental understanding is the extraction of feature point, the point cloud of the scene, that are some points that are that characterize the image very well. They are very easy to be detected. Like, for example, are the change of the gradient of the light of some colors of the image. So they correspond. Each feature point is something that is very recognizable in the image. And environmental understanding is also about detecting planes, because when you combine the feature points and the changing of the movement of the camera with the input of the sensor from the IMU, you can detect the plane. So ARCore do this for you and gives you the plane. And you also have anchors that are objects defining fixed location in the space where you can put later the simulated object. And so Tango, so ARCore makes easy to handle the anchors and objects later. So this is a sample image of the point cloud, the feature points. And this is a demo image, a sample image about plane detection, where a plane, the floor in this case, is detected and a texture is applied on it. Another cool feature is light estimation, because we have a problem with the past AR framework that some model was not very real in the scene because of the light. With the ARCore, we have with the light estimation, we have that the model is rendered as with the light as the real light in the scene. And that is very cool because you can develop applications that react to the light of the scene. Maybe I saw some games that just show something when you put down the lights, so you have to do some action turning on and off the lights. So this is very cool. So how to develop with this platform? How to develop with ARCore? You can use your favorite environment. You can use native Android development with Android Studio using Java or Kotlin. You can use Unity and Unreal Engine. So if you are coming from the field of game development, it's very easy to develop with this. And later we see another tool based on this of Unity platform that is super cool, I think. And if you are web developers, there's also a version using 3JS. So how many mobile developers there are in the room? How many of you raise your hand? So mobile developers, okay. Web developers. And game developers using Unity. Oh, cool. So using web development for AR application using ARCore is a little bit alpha, not beta, I think. Because you have to use some prototype browser from Google and compatible also with ARKit. You have to download it. You have to download the library that is based on 3JS. And you have to develop in JavaScript, okay. I think it's very in alpha, but maybe it's very powerful because you can develop web application using AR. We just start with Android code right now, just showing how to use ARCore. So I will use for this sample the sample application from Google that is available on GitHub in that URL. But for this, I think it's so complex because you have to have the basic understanding of Android development, okay, but also with OpenGL. That is not something that an Android developer is doing many times. How many of you have experience of OpenGL in Android development? Quite a few. One, I think. Yeah. Okay, let's just start with the on-create of activity. The most important object of the ARCore SDK is in Android development is the session object. You see the mSession attribute that is instantiated as new session object. Using that object, you can use everything of the API of ARCore. First thing to do is to create a default configuration. A configuration is something that allows you to enable or not the feature point detection or plane detection. You can disable or enable what you want for now. And yeah, it's just simple to instantiate a session and create one in noCreate. Later in the activity, we are overriding now the onDraw frame. That is something that is be overridden from the OpenGL classes. And it's essentially express what you have to draw for each frame. So in this sample for each frame, we are just taking the frame from the session object I created in the onCreate. With this frame object, we can get the point cloud, so get the array, the list of the feature point of the ARCore SDK is giving what the ARCore SDK is giving to me, and also I can with this point cloud draw it and show to the user with some yellow points or what you want. And even you can get the planes with accessing the getAllPlanes method of the session object. And so you will have a plane object that, in this case, you have in the sample you have just a dialog that is showing you searching for planes, but when a plane is detected, the dialog is off. You can also, this is a little bit complex, but you can also interact with the plane using the API, and the API handle for you the touch responses when you touch a plane, and you can add, for example, anchor object to the plane, so you can later use this anchor to put the 3D model. So it's a very simple API, the ARCore SDK native for Android, but you have to also to know some base from OpenGL. With Unity is much easier, I think. For Unity, we will use the demo I just developed that allows you to show some kittens in your space, because kittens are the most famous animal in the internet, so I think also in the AR and VR there will be. And you also can look for ARCore 101 on Google, and it will show an article I wrote on Medium about a step-by-step tutorial from creating this application with the code associated. So I will show you some code about the Unity project. I think it's very small, but what you have to do is to download from the ARCore website the ARCore SDK for Unity, or also for Android. You have to download it from the internet, and you also have to download the APK that is the library on your smartphone that is compatible with that. It allows to ARCore to work on, because now it's not integrated in Android, so you have to download a library. So just starting with Unity, you have to download the SDK. There is also a just ready for you object called ARCore device. That is a prefab. I think you can you see it? It's smaller, yeah. Okay, yeah. It's just a prefab for you that is knowing that Unity toolchain, that is an object that can be instantiated and presents some common characteristic where you can associate some script, some behavior, or other elements like material and so on. This it's you need for developer the ARCore Unity application. You need only this. You can start only with this object, ARCore device. This object contains the camera and contains the configuration. That it's just like a bigger object than the session object previously shown in Android. With this you can start. If you run the project, it's okay for you. It's just ready to run. To run the project in Unity, you have to choose and switch the platform to Android platform. You have to go to player settings, and you have to enable in the XR settings tab the ARCore supported. That is the rightest flag. It's just super easy to start with ARCore. So you have to go in and build a run and start your project on your phone. I think I can show you something. Oops. Okay. This is the cat AR application. You can see the feature points of the camera. So in this case, some particular points of the scene that are recognizable from the ARCore framework. And now is detecting for planes. I just found planes behind me. That it's the floor behind me. I'd mapped the plane with some grass texture. I defined it for it. So if I touch the screen at zone of a point in the plane, I can put a little cat model on it that is also reacting to the right. Yeah, like I don't know if you can see it, but it's a little bit darker. If I hide the lights. So the main components for Unity development is this prefab ARCore device. I suggest you to follow the tutorial I wrote on Medium. Maybe you can see better the editor later. And what we know is that we need also to draw the point cloud, the feature points of the or what are called the feature points in the scene. And you can use a point cloud object. That's now it's simply a cube. Associated with it, I created a material that is just in Unity how to draw an object. So I defined a material, some yellowish material that's that it's using a shader from Unity and from Google ARCore SDK that is called ARCore point cloud. That is just taking the material I'm defining and apply to each point of the point cloud list coming from ARCore. So I have the point cloud. I have that to the scene. Okay. I also just took the environmental light component coming from the ARCore Unity SDK from Google. I just take and put it in the scene. So each light I use in Unity in my project is reacting, each object is reacting to the light coming from the outside. But you also have to define your light, a directional light in this project. And the cat placer, I call it this. That is my main object, the main object of my project. That is simply a script that is using the main camera. The script identifying the planes. Maybe with some code is better. This cat plays has an object associated, a script associated to it that is cat placed controller that need a camera. You need this for taking the frame. And in this case, using the API from ARCore frame.getNewPlanes, you are receiving the planes from ARCore SDK and you are putting them in mNewPlanes. So for each new planes, I instantiated an object that is texturized as grass. So the grass you saw before. And even if I touch the screen, so I project array from the what I defined through the screen to the plane I'm looking at. I'm just instantiating a cat object, a cat prefab that contains the model from the cat time downloader from internet, from the Unity Asset Store. And it's using also the, it's looking at me, it's looking at the camera because each cat I define and I put on the scene is looking at me. And is also attached to the plane. In this case, each cat has a plane attachment script attached to it, receiving the plane. So I'm sure that each object has a plane assigned to it. There are some other API from ARCore Unity SDK that allows you to know if ARCore is tracking or not, and this is available to you in the session from the session object. Yeah, it's very easy also to build something with Unity and Unreal 2, but we will not cover Unreal this time. Advanced tools. Unity gives us a cool way to group ARKit and ARCore development because they have developed a common interface called AR interface. You can find information about AR interface from the Unity blog, and it's something very new. So you have common API to develop with the bots. So your application will be compatible with the bot platform, iOS and Android. And also a cool feature because it allows you to have less time of development because you can use AR editor and AR remote tool. AR remote tool is an APK that you can install on your Android. And when you are developing in your Unity environment, in your Unity editor, you can connect your smartphone to the editor, and you can see in the editor what is shown in the camera. So also the simulated object, the virtual object, you can see that. You can see the plane detected, and you can, using Unity, real-time developing during testing. That is very cool. Another cool thing that is in the Unity blog is the ARCore and the ARKit multiplayer experience shared. There is also a video showing this, a game that the speaker played with an iPad and a Pixel. So it's very cool. And they use the network library, the common network library from Unity. The cool thing is that you can use both the platform, so you are not to choose one to develop with. And yeah, you also when you started to develop AR application, you are asking, okay, but where I can find some model, some cool model? So I like to create it in blocks, but if you are, that is the software from Google, and Tilt Brush 2 are software from Google that allows you to create object and model in virtual reality, but you need to have a VR HMD, a VR device. But you can also use a brand new search engine from Google that is polygoogle.com, that is reachable on polygoogle.com, that allows you to look for what the other have created with blocks and Tilt Brush. And it's very cool because you can use this to download the model and to use it for your project. Very cool. And brand new, because audio is very important, not only video. You can use this SDK to have rich immersive audio and environmental audio and dynamic too. For example, you can also calculate the occlusion of the audio or reverb of the audio based on the environment. That is very cool. You can use this in VR, but I think it's very important to use it also in AR. Yeah, I think you can, also a cool application in visual positioning services, because when you have feature points that are identifying what you are seeing, maybe you can detect and store for later the location. So maybe you can create some sort of navigator, camera-based navigator. I think today I read something new about an application that I don't remember the name right now, but it's available for ARCkit and ARCore, and it's using it's a navigator using the camera. That is very cool. Blipar, I think Blip AR is today available. And yeah, I think that's all for now. And if you want to see some samples developed with ARCore, you can go to arcore.com. That is a very interesting website about ARCore, because you have video, but you have also source codes from GitHub about this kind of project. And even, they are very interesting because our project also with interaction from the user, that is very cool. And yeah, if you have any question about it, that's the moment. Yeah. Vincenzo. Yeah. I think I cannot hear you, but
Hi, I'm sorry. So I have just two questions. The first one is a little bit technical question. Non va? Ah. It's working. Dai, come on. And so I'd like to know, because I never tried the ARCore, but I tried the ARCtoolkit and the ARCkit. So what's the main differences, performance differences among them? And the second one is I'd like to know just your opinion about this kind of technology. How it can evolve in the next few years?
The first question is about performance, I think, right?
Performance.
Yeah, performance depends also by hardware, I think. Right now, I think the performance, I didn't develop with the ARCkit, but I saw some video, some demo also for my fans. I think that ARCkit has a little bit more performance, even for the, I just saw that. So
it's more stable.
Yeah, I think, but it has 2 years of development. I think 1 year's
just
available for the user, I think. Yeah. I think it's not in beta right now. I don't know if ARCkit
is
is
stable.
Yeah,
now
it's stable. Okay. ARCore, I think in S8, just my test phone. Sometimes it's a little bit clunky, but yeah, it's a little bit slow. But it also depends how are you developing it in Unity right now. Yeah. And I read something that ARCore is more fast to reconstruct the scene where you are. When you just detect a plane, apply some models on it, you are going away and come back and return to the place where you have put in the real world the virtual model. I read something about that ARCore is more fast, but it's just something that I read. I have to test it. I don't know. And about the future, I hope that some years from now, we will see some smart glasses. I don't know when. We have to use now our smartphone. That is something that everyone has. But I hope to see some things, some new hardware using these technologies. Yeah.
Understood. Thank you.
Good. I can see it.
Okay, but what about the battery draining?
Yeah. It's not I think that I analytically analyzed it, but for my test in my S8, I detected there's a lot of battery draining right now with the ARCore. It's in beta, but it's okay. And it's also overheat of the smartphone. That I, however, test also with virtual reality application is quite the same using the Adrian platform or Gear VR platform from Samsung. It's something I tested. There is a lot of battery drain. Okay, here you are.
Okay.
Yeah, and there is
but what's the difference between the others?
Between the two.
The two other tools.
I not analyzed ARKit. Yeah.
Okay.
And
not because the battery is really the weak point of every virtual reality device.
Yeah, I know because the camera is one of the main drainer, and also the algorithm to run this stuff. That's I think is very CPU intensive. So
that's the point about Vive IHTC that have the battery inside the controller.
Yeah. I think that this is just a starting technology. I think it's quite promising that, and I hope they evolve in some new hardware so powerful and so useful for the user. I think very useful to use, very easy to use without any issue of battery or overheating problem. Yeah. We are just exploring it.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question about the testing.
So
the testing for mobile. The main problem is I don't have one of
it's a common problem here.
It's a common problem. So I'm using Android Studio.
Okay.
I'm installed Android 7.0.
Yeah.
And there is a way maybe to run exporting just the build, not build and run the project in Android Studio and see the project maybe with a webcam
from Android Studio.
From Android Studio.
Right now, I think there is not a way to do this. I'm using now Unity that has this like I said a very easy way to see what the smartphone is seeing. So it's very easy to test it.
But you need the
sure you need the device and you need the Unity the Unity extension. But I think there is right now you have to test on the real device. Yeah.
Okay. And for the 3GS, there
you
is the same limitation.
Yeah, you also if you're downloading this,
the device.
And you also have to download this kind of browser that are not official browser. So I think that for now the 3JS version is not so stable. It's maybe the newest one. I think.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. 2 questions.
Hi.
Hi.
Can I only recognize horizontal plane or vertical too?
Yeah, you can only for now recognize horizontal planes. I used some techniques to create some vertical planes, but maybe you can use some algorithms to you as a developer detect vertical planes, but it's very complex and it's not so effective. For example, you can see if there are features that correspond to the normal of horizontal planes. You can use something like this, but I think it's not so effective. It's useful, but not so effective for now. And however, ARCore don't give you vertical planes for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Too much cable.
Hi.
Hi.
I think that answering the previous question, you partially answered mine, but it has always been an issue for augmented reality, the occlusion. I mean, for instance, in your demo, the Kitten one, I saw that if you put your hands between the camera and the plane,
and the virtual objects,
So, for instance, Vuforia, which I've been using to develop AR application with Unity, partially solved the problem, but only with like mapped cylinders.
Okay, yeah.
So you can have occlusion, but what about ARCore?
Yeah, for now it's not handle the occlusion. I used Vuforia before also with this feature. I read that Vuforia is now also integrating these SDKs, this technology, that is a very great, I think, it's a very great things to develop. Yeah, but for now it's not offered occlusion from this SDK. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah? Another question in the front one? Maybe I can hear. Yeah. No, I can hear you. I can't hear you. For the complete version. No, I don't know.
I use Unity for develop with ARCore, but I have different problem with debug because at this moment I use ARCore for all.
Yeah.
For hack.
I don't know. I don't have any information about when will be the final version of the final stable version of ARCore. I think, and I'm seeing that it's continuously developing. They are developing this, but I don't know when.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone.